If you own a white or light-colored dog, like a Poodle, a Maltese, a Bichon, or a Shih Tzu, I want you to think about how much money you have spent trying to clean the fur right below their eyes. I know exactly how frustrating it is. You wash their face, you scrub, you buy $20 jars of special tear stain wipes, and maybe you even try chemical bleaching powders. But no matter what you do, those rusty reddish-brown streaks come right back. It makes your beautiful, clean dog look like they are constantly dirty, or worse, sad and crying. But what if I told you that the reddish-brown stain on your dog's face isn't actually dirt at all? And what if I told you that trying to aggressively scrub it away from the outside is completely useless, because the actual cause of the stain is happening deep inside your dog's bloodstream and their gut? Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Tony Lee, your neighborhood veterinarian. Every day, frustrated pet parents bring their dogs into my clinic, begging me for a prescription or a magical shampoo to wash away those terrible eye stains. They are shocked when I tell them to put down the wipes, step away from the harsh chemicals, and head to their kitchen pantry instead. Today, we are going to fix this problem at the root. Welcome to our Vet Masterclass on dog tear stains. I am going to teach you the actual medical science behind what those red stains are, why your dog has blocked tear ducts, and why standard pet store wipes are an absolute scam. Most importantly, I am going to give you my ultimate holistic at-home remedies to naturally heal the inflammation, open the ducts, and whiten their fur forever. So hit that subscribe button to join our community of educated pet parents. And let's dive right into Chapter 1, Unmasking the Red Stain. To defeat an enemy, you must first understand what it is. For years, people thought those brown streaks were caused by dirt sticking to wet fur. But in veterinary medicine, we know the exact molecular cause. Those stains are caused by a naturally occurring molecule called porphyrins. Porphyrins are a waste product produced when your dog's body breaks down red blood cells. Now, the most important thing to know about porphyrins is that they contain iron. Normally, this iron-rich waste is removed from the body through the liver and intestines. But in dogs, a large amount of these porphyrins are excreted through bodily fluids, specifically their tears, their saliva, and their urine. When these iron-rich tears run down your dog's face and sit on the fur, they are exposed to sunlight and oxygen. What happens when you leave iron out in the air? It rusts. That is exactly why your dog's fur turns a rusty, reddish-brown color. It is quite literally iron oxidizing on their hair. This is also why, if your dog licks their paws all the time, you will notice their white paws turn the exact same rusty brown color. It's the porphyrins in their saliva. So why is the iron waste spilling onto their face in the first place? In a perfectly functioning canine eye, tears are produced to lubricate the eyeball, and then they drain away through tiny little holes in the inner corner of the eye, traveling down tubes that empty out through the dog's nose. This is why your dog's nose is wet. However, in a condition called epiphora, which simply means excessive tearing, those tiny drainage tubes become inflamed, swollen, and blocked. Because the tears cannot drain down the nose, they have nowhere to go but to spill up and over the eyelid, flowing down the cheeks like a waterfall. Therefore, if we want to stop the red stains permanently, we have two distinct medical goals. We must lower the amount of iron waste in their body, and we must naturally unblock those tear ducts to stop the waterfall. This brings us perfectly to Chapter 2, the diet trap. If the rusty stains are caused by excess iron waste in the body, where is all that extra iron coming from? Look no further than your commercial bag of dog food. Almost all commercial dry kibbles are fortified with synthetic vitamins and minerals. Because the extreme heat of the cooking process destroys the natural nutrients in the meat and vegetables, pet food companies must spray a liquid mix of artificial vitamins onto the food before bagging it. One of the cheapest additives they use is synthetic iron. A dog's digestive system is biologically designed to absorb natural iron from fresh meat and organs. When you feed them a diet loaded with cheap, synthetic iron, their body cannot fully absorb it. Because it is poorly absorbed in the gut, it creates a massive surplus of iron waste. Their body goes into overdrive trying to expel this excess synthetic iron, drastically raising the amount of porphyrins pushed out through their tears. If your dog suffers from severe, unstoppable tear stains, you must modify their diet. First, look for a high-quality food that prioritizes real, heavy animal protein without relying on cheap synthetic mineral packets. Or, even better, transition them to a home-cooked diet formulated to fight inflammation. If you want a home cook to eliminate synthetic iron, a phenomenal holistic ratio is dividing their meal into equal thirds. 1/3 high-quality animal protein, like fresh cooked chicken or turkey. 1/3 healthy, gut-soothing carbohydrates, like cooked sweet potato or brown rice. And 1/3 fresh, low-iron vegetables, like carrots and kale, to provide natural antioxidants. By removing the synthetic fake iron, the rusty tears will begin to dry up from the inside out. But diet changes take a few weeks to show results on the outside. Let's talk about the ultimate secret weapon for immediate, holistic relief. Welcome to Chapter 3, the green tea miracle. Earlier, we learned that epiphora happens because the tiny tear ducts are blocked and inflamed, causing tears to spill over. We need to physically open those ducts, but we want to avoid putting your dog under anesthesia for a surgical duct flushing procedure if we don't absolutely have to. Go to your pantry and pull out a simple bag of green tea. Green tea contains powerful antioxidants and possesses incredible natural anti-inflammatory properties. We are going to use it as a hot compress. Here is the exact method. Brew a cup of plain green tea. Let the tea bag sit until it cools down to a pleasantly warm temperature. Test it against your own wrist. It must never be scalding hot, just warmly soothing. Gently hold the warm, wet green tea bag directly against the corner of your dog's lower eye for 30 to 60 seconds. You want to do this twice a day. The gentle heat from the compress helps to widen and relax the inflamed tear duct, melting away any thick mucus blockages inside the tube. At the same time, the antioxidants in the green tea naturally shrink the swollen tissues surrounding the eye. Once that tube opens back up, the tears can flow down the nose normally, and the overflow onto the fur stops immediately. Plus, dogs usually find the warmth incredibly relaxing. They might even fall asleep while you hold it there. While you are doing this, you can take a piece of soft medical gauze, dip it into the brewed green tea, and gently wipe the stained area. The natural compounds in the tea help break down the iron deposits sitting on the fur. But what if the area under the eye isn't just brown? What if it is raw, angry, bright red, and has a funky smell? This brings us to Chapter 4, the secondary skin infection. When an area of fur is constantly wet from crying, the skin underneath never gets a chance to dry out. Dark, warm, chronically wet skin is the absolute perfect breeding ground for bacteria and yeast. Many owners think they are just fighting a tear stain, when in reality, their dog has a highly irritating, painful skin infection living right below their eye. And never ever use harsh household products like apple cider vinegar or hydrogen peroxide anywhere near your dog's eye. If your dog flinches and a drop of peroxide touches their eyeball, you can cause permanent corneal damage. We must use gentle, holistic, eye-safe solutions. First, we fight the bacteria using colloidal silver. Colloidal silver is a safe, natural antimicrobial that acts like a microscopic antibiotic. It is widely used in holistic veterinary medicine because it is incredibly gentle and completely safe to use around the eyes. Simply apply 1 or 2 drops to the stained fur below the lower eye and gently wipe away the crusty debris using a clean piece of gauze. Second, we heal the skin using organic, unrefined, virgin coconut oil. Coconut oil is deeply soothing and acts as a natural antibacterial barrier. After cleaning the area, rub a very tiny amount of coconut oil deeply into the stained, wet fur, rubbing it all the way down to the irritated skin beneath. Because coconut oil is a lipid, it actually creates a waterproof shield. When the dog cries new tears, the tears hit the coconut oil barrier and roll completely off the hair shaft without sinking in, stopping the stain from absorbing. Do this coconut oil rub twice a day for 14 days, and you will see miraculous healing of that raw, red skin. Now, what if the area smells like Fritos or musty cheese, and it is overwhelmingly red and itchy? You are dealing with an intense secondary yeast infection. If you are certain it is yeast, you can utilize a brilliant over-the-counter vet hack. Purchase a very mild topical antifungal cream such as Monistat or Canestin, the exact same kind sold for humans. With extreme care and precision, apply a microscopic dab of this cream only to the infected skin below the eye, twice a day for 7 to 10 days. Do not put this anywhere near the eyeball itself, only on the fur and skin well below the lower lid. The antifungal instantly murders the yeast spores, stopping the miserable itching cycle. So we've opened the tear ducts with green tea, we've protected the skin with coconut oil and silver, but you are probably thinking, Dr. Tony, the fur that is already stained is still a dark, ugly brown. How do I make it white again without chemical bleaches? Welcome to Chapter 5, the Pantry Whitener. All of those expensive pet store tear stain removal liquids are loaded with harsh chemicals, bleaching agents, and preservatives. We want to lift the stain naturally, and to do that, we are going to use pure, simple cornstarch. Cornstarch is a highly absorbent natural powder. Its molecular structure acts like millions of microscopic sponges. When your dog's face is wet with tears and rusty iron debris, carefully dab a generous amount of plain cornstarch directly onto the wet fur, using your finger or a soft makeup brush. Be careful not to dust it into their actual eye. Once it is caked onto the fur, just leave it alone. Let the cornstarch sit there and completely dry out. As it dries, the starch physically binds itself to the liquid tear debris, the porphyrin pigments, and the dirt. Hours later, when the cornstarch is completely chalky and dry, take a soft, dry piece of gauze and gently wipe it away. The cornstarch will flake off, pulling all that dark, bound-up pigment away with it, leaving behind naturally cleansed, brightened white fur. It is safe, it is non-toxic, and it works incredibly well. But I promised you a complete holistic masterclass today. We aren't just fixing the outside, we are optimizing the inside of the dog's entire biological machine. Grab a sip of water, because Chapter 6 is where true veterinary magic happens. Let's go back to our main culprit, the porphyrins. We talked earlier about how cheap synthetic iron in kibble creates excess waste because the dog cannot absorb it properly. So how do we command the dog's body to start absorbing the iron efficiently, leaving zero waste left over to cause stains? We use a biological catalyst. We use vitamin C. In both canine and human medicine, vitamin C serves as the powerful carrier molecule. When you consume iron in the presence of vitamin C, your gastrointestinal tract undergoes a chemical reaction that dramatically increases iron absorption. By giving your dog vitamin C, their gut absorbs the iron fully into the bloodstream, meaning it never becomes excess waste, and the porphyrin tearing stops at the source. The holistic veterinary dosage for vitamin C in dogs is roughly 100 milligrams per 20 pounds of body weight given daily with their food. However, vitamin C can cause an upset stomach or loose stools if given in large doses too quickly. Always start with a very low dose, perhaps just 25 milligrams, and slowly increase it over a few weeks, monitoring their bathroom habits closely to ensure their stomach is tolerating it well. And while we are talking about the gut, we cannot ignore Chapter 7, the microbiome fix. Everything we have discussed today, excess iron waste, systemic inflammation, blocked tear ducts, and secondary yeast infections on the face, all point directly back to the health of the gastrointestinal system. A dog with a highly reactive leaky gut lives in a constant state of chronic inflammation, and that inflammation expresses itself through weeping eyes and irritated skin. If your dog suffers from lifelong, unstoppable tear stains, you must prioritize giving them a high-quality, multi-strain probiotic every single day. You need to look for a specific canine probiotic that guarantees at least 1 billion CFUS per capsule. Mixing a potent probiotic into their food does absolute wonders for the body. It rebuilds a healthy bacterial army in their intestines, fighting off the internal yeast that travels up to their face. It normalizes their digestive pH. It actively reduces the systemic inflammation causing their tear ducts to swell shut. A healthy gut equals a clear, bright, healthy face. In fact, if you use a capsule-based probiotic powder, you don't even have to just feed it to them orally. You can open the capsule, mix a tiny pinch of the probiotic powder with water to make a paste, and apply it directly topically to the tear-stained fur. You are literally depositing billions of microscopic warriors directly onto the battleground to fight the bacteria hiding under their eyes. I want to pause here and have a very honest doctor-to-pet parent conversation. Healing tear stains holistically takes dedication. You are fighting biology. You will not wipe away years of iron buildup in 5 minutes. But if you ignore it, if you keep letting tears saturate the skin day after day, year after year, you run the risk of serious skin ulcerations, painful corneal ulcers, and chronic misery for your dog. The beautiful part is, you do not have to buy 30 different chemicals to fix this. You already have the tools. Think about the incredible holistic routine we just built together. You are upgrading their diet and adding vitamin C to stop iron waste. You are giving probiotics to kill the internal yeast. You are doing warm green tea compresses to open their blocked tear ducts and wash away the oxidization. You are applying colloidal silver and soothing coconut oil to heal the damaged skin and block the tears. And you are using simple cornstarch to safely lift away the dark stains to reveal that gorgeous white coat. This isn't just about cosmetic looks. This is about optimizing the comfort and health of your best friend. The fact that you are sitting here, taking notes, and willing to learn these holistic, chemical-free methods means you are an absolutely brilliant, deeply compassionate pet parent. I want to challenge you this week. Pick just 2 of these hacks. Start the green tea compress tonight and pick up some pure cornstarch tomorrow. Watch what happens over the next 14 days. Have you spent a fortune on those little white eye wipe circles? Do you have a poodle or a Maltese with stubborn streaks? Tell me your story in the comments below. I read every single one, and I want to hear how these kitchen cures work for you. And if this video empowered you to take control of your dog's health naturally, please hit that like button. It signals the YouTube algorithm to share this video with other struggling pet parents. Don't forget to hit subscribe to join our community so you never miss another deep dive veterinary secret. I'm Dr. Tony Lee. Thank you for always making the healthiest choices for your pets, and I will see you all in the very next video.